that Phase 5 will introduce. See what CBR has to say about this. Check this out.
With Marvel's new Phase 5 coming up soon, we are all really excited. But with most of the Avengers gone, what or who can we expect now to save us all? And so we decided to make a list of some of the new Avengers that we believe Phase 5 will introduce. And without further ado, let's begin. So let's try and start off with Ant-Girl, or Cassie Lang for a more familiar name. She has already been around as Ant-Man's daughter for quite a while now. But what about her as a hero? For those of you that do not know, Cassie Lang in the comics eventually becomes known as Stature because of some life-altering events, and we will try and leave that as a hint, and then later, Stinger, because of her questionable choices. Spoilers, but she has about the same abilities as Ant-Man. You know, becoming really big, or really small, yes, surprise, surprise. We could say that she's there to carry on the legacy of Ant-Man, and she probably is, as the rest of the Avengers are already retiring, or have already started to, with the other younger generation of Avengers already introduced, and ones we can expect to see in Phase 5, like Ironheart and Echo. Here we have another one, and she is making her debut as Ant-Girl. We are curious to see how much of her they will bring from the comics, but for now, we feel like Young Avengers might be in the works somewhere. Come on, you're excited. You have that feeling about that too, don't you? You know, try as they might to keep it a secret, but you and me, we are on to their tricks. Okay, so when we first saw Nicolas Cage with his skull on fire, did we automatically know that he was from Marvel? What? You all knew from the start? Seriously? Well, we think that we can probably see at least a cameo from this Hellraiser at least once in Phase 5. And why? Because of the Thunderbolts. So, Marvel has already announced the Thunderbolt series in Phase 5. And guess who's a member of this Suicide Squad? Oh yeah, Ghost Rider. He is more of an anti-hero than a full-time hero, but we love him. And we are so excited to see who's going to take on his character, and if Nicolas Cage will return for the role. He probably would, since Marvel does have a knack for bringing back the originals, which we all really enjoy. But if it is not Nicolas Cage, some people are hoping for Norman Reedus to play the role. And you know, we think that he would be a pretty fitting choice. We've seen Norman Reedus in Death Stranding, connected to death, in The Walking Dead, fighting the dead. Now, he's literally becoming the dead? Oh yeah, this is just starting to get more and more exciting. Or deadly, huh? Okay. The name might sound like Spider-Man, and may give some of you the impression that she is basically like Spider-Girl, but older. That's not it at all when it comes to Spider-Woman. Jessica Drew, or Spider-Woman, is not your average spider persona or variation, whatever you want to call it. She may share some of Spider-Man's abilities, like superhuman strength, agility, durability, spidey sense, but where Spider-Man shoots webs, she shoots venom. And she has a motorcycle. Spider-Man doesn't have one of those now, does he? She's also immune to poison and has regenerative abilities. And so you already know how awesome she is at this point, but what is her connection to Phase 5? And how do we know that we can expect to see her? Well, she's one of the main ones in Secret Invasion in the comics, and she also plays a part in Secret Wars. There's also the new Spider-Verse movie, which could introduce Spider-Woman as part of the MCU, but that's difficult to say, even though everything is now connected by the multiverse, so anything works. Speaking of the Thunderbolts, we also speculate that we might see Agent Venom soon-ish. Alright, so we don't quite believe Agent Venom will be joining us anytime soon, but there has been some buildup of his character already, especially in the post-credit scene of Spider-Man No Way Home, where we see that the symbiotes are all going a bit crazy over Spider-Man, to the extent that they left a little something, and we assume that they might bring back that dark and edgy Spider-Man from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, but most importantly, they might bring us Agent Venom. For those that don't know, that is how Agent Venom comes to be, from symbiotes. So we can already tell that there's some sort of a setup here, but again, it's difficult to say that it's going to be in Phase 5, but who knows? We might get ourselves a surprise, since Agent Venom is part of the Thunderbolts as well. And we have Spider-Verse coming out. So there might be somewhat of an introduction, since Tony Revolori, the actor for Flash Thompson in the current Spider-Man universe, has really been pushing for an Agent Venom movie for quite some time now. Although we aren't really sure if he's going to be Agent Venom or someone else is going to be casted, since, unfortunately, he was quite negatively received by audiences as Flash, but I guess we'll have to see where that goes. So the last time that we remember seeing Blade was more than 10 years ago, and honestly, did you know? Did you really know this guy was from Marvel too? Of course you did, but anyways, let me tell you a little something about Blade as a refresher. So he's half human and half vampire, making him a vampire who is immune to vampire bites, and he hunts vampires. Yeah, he's basically Blade the Vampire Slayer, who has almost all of the abilities of an average vampire, but now improved because he isn't disintegrating from the sun. Regenerative abilities, super speed, superhuman strength, heightened senses, and excellent combat ability. Blade is just one of those really cool characters, and those sunglasses he wears, come on, that's like literally the definition of cool. We really wanted to see this character again, and now finally he's going to be back on screens. Blade will be getting his own movie, already announced by Marvel, to appear in about 2024, which by the way is also when Phase 6 happens, and there were some issues in the making of the movie which sadly caused the delay, but Marvel has assured us that Blade is Phase 5. There are also some interesting spoilers about Blade from the comics, in case you didn't remember. He has close ties with Doctor Strange, the X-Men, and guess who? Oh yeah, that's right, Ghost Rider. This spells out a lot for potential plot points that we can speculate, but we cannot get too ahead of ourselves since this movie is still in the works, but still, we are really hoping that we are going to be seeing Ghost Rider alongside Blade. Would that not be epic? Please, Marvel, please? All of us are waiting on the X-Men with bated breath. When will we see their debut? When are we going to see Wolverine and Deadpool on screen together? Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on screen as part of the MCU? Oh yeah. Let's talk about a few of the characters in this entry, mainly Storm, Beast, and Wolverine. Okay, let's start off with Storm first. We expect that our favorite weather-changing queen might be making her debut soon as well. At least we hope. Because if you remember the way that the hints were dropped by Tom Holland before Spider-Man No Way Home about him meeting Andrew Garfield or bumping into Tobey Maguire, we are aware about how sneaky Marvel can be with giving us subtle messages like that. Nate Moore, the producer of Black Panther 2, mentions, and I quote, "Well, Storm's relationship with Wakanda is pretty interesting," end quote, and yes, we agree, it is pretty interesting. But there isn't any Black Panther movie or series in Phase 5. While that may be true, we just can't rule out that she might just be making her debut, and very secretly, but we are watching. And there's surely going to be someone in the upcoming Ant-Man movie, huh? Like Storm, perhaps? Maybe? Secret Invasion has a lot of heroes. Okay, so about Beast. He is another character we believe might make his debut soon, and we love it. Do you all remember this gentle yet fierce guy? He's such a lovable character, and we are ready to welcome him. So how do we know that he might be making his debut as well? Compared to Storm, Beast might be a much sooner appearance, and we can take the clues from Secret Invasion. So from the trailer, Abigail Brand has already been confirmed. But who is a close associate of Beast? Oh yeah, that's right, Abigail Brand. But if that doesn't assure you, in the comics, and this is spoilery, during the Secret Invasion, a few Skrulls have been brainwashed and believe themselves to be heroes. And one of them being, oh yeah, you guessed it, Beast. And Beast also played an active part in stopping the Skrull invasion. Now, we aren't sure how much of the plot from the comics we can expect to see in the series, but Beast is very intricately embedded within the MCU, so it makes sense for Beast to make his debut in the Secret Invasion series, and we really hope he does. How can you not just completely adore this guy? Look at him! He's so fluffy! So, about Wolverine. The last time Hugh Jackman made his appearance as Wolverine was way back in Logan, and he has since completely retired from the role. But through the efforts of many people, we can finally expect to see him again in Deadpool 3. And yeah, we are super hyped for it, but Deadpool 3 is set for Phase 6. So what about Phase 5? From what we have gathered so far, Marvel still feels like there is quite some time for there to be a full X-Men thing. And with Phase 5 and 6 revealed, we didn't see any X-Men there either. We can only hope for cameos and debuts right now, so for Wolverine, we think that maybe there is a chance for him to appear in Phase 5. Maybe alongside Beast, or maybe in a post-credit scene? We already mentioned Secret Invasion a bunch in this video, but Wolverine plays a role in that series in the comics, so something of that sort, like an introduction and confirmation of him in the MCU. Since Deadpool 3 will be out sometime in Phase 6, it is definitely possible that they sneak in Wolverine somewhere. All of us fans are just really waiting for anything X-Men. A surprise appearance somewhere in the background or something. Just anything. You know, now I just want answers. Just give us Wolverine! We've already seen this character introduced in the trailer of Marvel's upcoming series, Secret Invasion. For this one, we will talk about Abigail Brand. And on the surface, she seems similar to the Black Widow or Maria Hill, since, you know, she has similar combat abilities, but let us comic fans let you in on a little bit of a spoiler. She's literally a mutant with pyrokinetic abilities, so pair her combat abilities with superpowers and oh yeah, you've got yourself a seriously awesome character. Abigail Brand's debut is perfect for this new series in more than just one way. First off, she actually is a part of the Secret Invasion universe. And then, she has a lot of secrets of her own. For comic fans, you already know what we're hinting at here, but for those who don't know, this character might be more interesting and important than you think. Unless, well, Marvel has other plans. And we believe that she'll take on an important role as an Avenger and as part of the X-Men, I mean the MCU. Maybe we are being set up for X-Men, and we are really hoping since we've seen Professor X recently, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Again, we'll just keep waiting here, just need some info, but we'll keep on waiting, okay? We've already seen in the recent Doctor Strange movie that Mr. Fantastic has been introduced, but what about the other three that, you know, made up the Fantastic Four? We do believe they might also be introduced in Phase 5. Let's have a look here. Let's start off with Invisible Woman, or Susan Storm. Now, again, we would like to reference the Secret Invasion for this one, or actually all of the Fantastic Four, because all four of them play a part in the comic at the very least. And since we've already gotten the introduction of Mr. Fantastic, or what's left of him, we do have a feeling that Marvel thinks it's time to add the Fantastic Four into the universe. Or again, we hope. Now, a little about who exactly is Invisible Woman. We haven't seen much of her since the last Fantastic Four movie, but we do recall her being able to go invisible. I guess that was obvious, but aside from that, she can break force fields, make people temporarily blind, and what else here? Oh yeah, she can explode them. And you know, just reflecting on this, is she really a hero? Because is that not a bit extreme? She sounds kind of terrifying now. But these are just a few of her abilities that we can gather from the comics and from what we know from her from the movies. It is possible that Marvel has other plans because usually characters get edited, but we hope that she appears soon alongside Mr. Fantastic. We really just want to see all four together, please. So about the Human Torch. Since Marvel is connecting multiple universes and all the other movie versions, what about Johnny? Cause, you know, he kind of became Captain America? Yeah, that's a bit of a head scratcher, but the Human Torch is also someone we expect to see. I mean, we expect to see all of the Fantastic Four, but we do wonder who will show up as the new Human Torch. It's not gonna be Chris Evans again, right? That would be a really interesting and confusing plot twist. In most depictions, the Human Torch is the annoying little brother who pulls pranks on people. He's a bit of a trickster and just someone that you could either love or hate. But despite that, he is also there when you really need him, and he cares for those he loves. He is a bit of a hothead, pun intended, and his abilities match his fiery personality as he turns himself into a flaming hero who can even use the power of flight. There are many different versions of the Human Torch, as there are with any of the other heroes on this list, but we do hope Marvel brings us something to enjoy with this character in the mix. Else, you know, it could turn into a bit of a hot mess, huh? Ha ha ha! Okay. Much like the other two, the Thing might also show up in Phase 5. The Thing in the comics was actually a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was after the Fantastic Four had disbanded. Oh, I should have said spoilers for that one, but anyway. So then the Guardians got called for some war, and then they got stranded on Earth, and then they disbanded. And the Thing's part in the team didn't last for very long, but we haven't really seen the Thing being with the Guardians yet, which can only mean that the upcoming Volume 3 of the Guardians movie could be the perfect time for the Thing to make his appearance. This speculation may hold some weight even more so because it kind of aligns with the comics of how the Guardians disbanded after taking him in, and with Volume 3 being reportedly the last movie in the Guardians franchise, maybe Thing gets to be the new addition in the array of characters that Marvel has been introducing to us lately. Plus, like we said earlier, with Reed Richards already introduced, we are pretty sure all of the Fantastic Four are going to be showing up sometime soon, possibly as soon as Phase 5. Although we recently saw Mr. Fantastic being turned into ribbons and Black Bolt also, taking a hit, we're not really sure if Marvel would kill these two characters so easily. We think, at least, Mr. Fantastic would be making an appearance again soon. Maybe through some multiverse magic. But again, we will just have to wait and see what becomes of the Fantastic Four and whatever plans Marvel has for them. What are your thoughts and opinions for Marvel's Phase 5? Which characters are you looking forward to? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, please subscribe, like, and stay for watching. See you guys, bye.